Yes! What is up, everyone? And first and foremost, do you remember this shirt? I think there's only one left in existence. And second, I hope the holidays are treating you well and that you're surrounding yourself with and taking care of your loved ones. That's the most important thing. Second, I said second already. Third, I'm doing all kinds of crazy giveaways on Twitter for my 12 days of Christmas giveaways. So if you haven't gotten in on the action yet, you're missing out. Plus, I'm doing some fun stuff on Instagram as well. @JimmyConrad. Go make it happen. Go over there. Check it out. Say hi. Fourth, as a small gift for me for these holidays, smashing that subscribe button and turning on your notifications would mean a lot. Mainly because I got a lot of big things planned in 2020, and I don't want you to miss out. Fifth, before we get into my team of this last decade, which holy shit, was a lot harder to put together than I thought it would be, I want to take a look at the consensus team of the decade from the previous 10 years, from 2000 to 2009. You know, just out of curiosity. And here's what I found. The majority of people had Gigi Buffon in goal, Javier Zanetti at right back, Fabio Cannavaro and Carlos Puyol as center backs, though I feel like we could make a strong argument for Paolo Maldini, Alessandro Nesta, Rio Ferdinand, Nemanja Vidic, or John Terry. And then I had Roberto Carlos at left back. Not me, they had. Well, I'm an idiot. Then in midfield, they had David Beckham, Claude Makélélé, Steven Gerrard, and Ronaldinho, and up top, R9 Ronaldo and Thierry Henry. And this is an incredible list of names, though maybe Zidane, even though he retired in 2006, right, after the World Cup, or Scholes, or Giggs instead of Gerrard or Beckham, maybe? But that's a different video. Also, fun fact, I played against 7 of these guys, Buffon, Zanetti, Cannavaro, Roberto Carlos, Beckham, R9 Ronaldo, and Henry, and I'm pretty proud of myself, I have to say, though I wish I got to play against the others. Anyway, that was then, and this is now. So at the end, we're gonna have to decide which decade would win if they faced off. Anyway, first off, in goal, could it be Buffon again? I mean, he won 7 straight Scudettos during this decade, 4 Coppa Italias, was named as the best goalkeeper in the world and Serie A Player of the Year in 2017, which wasn't too long ago. He got to a couple of Champions League finals also, so I think there's a conversation to be had. But then there's Casillas, who started the decade strong, but then cooled off as the years passed. Then you have Oblak and Ter Stegen, who have had a good second half of the decade, but the first half, they were just trying to emerge as top talents. So can you really throw them in? I don't know. And then De Gea definitely deserves a shout out too, but Casillas was in goal for Spain in the 2010 World Cup and the 2012 Euros, and Spain hasn't won anything since De Gea has been in between the sticks. Plus, he's prone to make big mistakes from time to time, so I'm going with Manuel Neuer. He started the decade winning the DFB Pokal with Schalke, then won the Champions League with Bayern Munich and 7 straight Bundesliga titles and countless other trophies for the men in red from Bavaria to finish it off. Also, he won the World Cup with Germany while also taking home the trophy as the best goalkeeper overall in Brazil in 2014. Now, injuries slowed him down a ton, especially in the 2017-2018 season, but he's been solid almost every other year, and I'd say more solid for these 10 years overall than anyone else in goal. And then for my back line, well, I think Dani Alves is the guy on the right because he is a trophy machine. If you want to win something of consequence, you put this man on your team. He won 25 club trophies this past decade, which included 2 Champions League trophies with Barcelona, and then he won 2 more, the Confederations Cup and Copa America with Brazil. The dude was averaging almost 3 trophies every season. What? And then in the middle, it gets a little bit trickier because everyone has Virgil van Dijk on their brains, which I get because he's currently and easily the best defender in the world at the moment. But he peaked a little bit later in the decade, so I'm gonna go with, I don't know, but this is who I'm deciding between. You got Mats Hummels and Jerome Boateng, since they essentially boast the same stats as Manuel Neuer. Sergio Ramos, who started off the decade winning the World Cup, though Puyol was actually the guy that started that tournament. However, he did win the Euros where he did actually play, so that matters. Then he won 4 Champions League trophies. That's pretty good. So yeah, okay, fine, all right, stop. Sergio Ramos is in my team. And then next to him, I'm also considering Pepe, which might surprise a few people, but he won a lot of stuff at Madrid as well, and he helped Portugal win their first major trophy, and I thought he was the real MVP of that tournament and not Cristiano Ronaldo for Portugal. And then there's Diego Godin, who I absolutely love as a player, though he didn't win nearly as many trophies as some of these other guys, and I think we have to consider Giorgio Chiellini as well, who was the rock for Juventus in their backline during their crazy run of winning 7 straight Scudettos, and for Italy 2, of course. And then there's Thiago Silva, who's a beast for club and country, though we could argue his club plays in France and the competition isn't as stiff as it is in other places. And then Gerard Piqu, who did start every game for Spain's 2010 World Cup winning team, and then again in the Euros next to Sergio Ramos in 2012, which they won as well. And he got 2 Champions League trophies and a ton of La Liga trophies with Barcelona. And fine, I'm gonna go with an all-Spanish partnership in the middle of the defense, Ramos and Piqué for me. And then out to the left, honestly, this is between Bayern Munich's David Alaba and Real Madrid's Marcelo. Both play on great teams, both are winners, but I think Marcelo is a better leader. He's captain material, even though I've seen Alaba with the captain's armband before. I just feel like Marcelo has more presence, which gives him an edge for me over Alaba. But if you're into stats, Marcelo is the only left back in history to be named to the FIFA Pro World 11 5 times, which is voted on not by the media, but by his peers. And that matters. And now in midfield, and just for the record, I'm going with a 3-man midfield for my 4-3-3 formation. And holding it down in front of the back four is none other than N'Golo Kanté. Now sure, he's only had half a decade at the highest of levels, and I said earlier that, Oblak and Ter Stegen, they didn't do enough. But look what Kanté's done in such a short period of time. He was the real MVP when Leicester miraculously won the league in his first season in the Premier League after coming from League 2 in France. That is a huge jump to have that type of success. What a hero. And then he won the league again with Chelsea the following season. Again, what a hero. And then he won the World Cup with France. What a run he has been on. And then he got played out of position by Maurizio Sarri, so his impact has been less. And guess what? Chelsea haven't won since then. Coincidence? I think not. And then above him, how do you not have Luka Modric in here? He won all the same trophies as his Madrid teammates at the club level. He helped Croatia make it to a World Cup final, which is an incredible achievement. He was the first person not named Messi or Ronaldo to win the Ballon d'Or in 10 years. And yet the guy still feels a little underappreciated in some weird way, but not to me. So I got him in my squad for sure. As for the last spot in midfield, well, I think Toni Kroos, Paul Pogba, Sergio Busquets, David Silva, Eden Hazard, they all deserve a shout out, but none of them are in my team. That spot is being reserved for the man, the myth, the legend, Andres Iniesta. The dude was a part of every FIFA Pro World 11 from 2010 to 2017, which to reiterate is voted on by his fellow players only, his competitors, and they're voting for him as the best. So who am I to argue otherwise? No one of consequence. Also, during this decade, he won 5 La Liga trophies, 2 Champions Leagues, 1 Euros, and he scored the game-winning goal in a World Cup final. Did anybody else do that? I'm waiting to hear from what you guys have to say. No, they didn't. He's a beast, and you all know it. And now for my 3 up top, let's get the easy ones out of the way. There's 2 of them, Leo Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, because they don't need any extra words from me as to why they're included. You all know why. So then it comes down to assuming Ronaldo is out on the wing instead of as the number 9, because if we had him as the number 9, then I think Arjen Robben, Franck Ribéry, Gareth Bale, and Neymar could and should be considered, but since I'm not going to put Ronaldo up there, up top between the 2 center backs, then it's just a matter of who is the best number 9 over these last 10 years. Personally, I think it comes down to Sergio Aguero, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Robert Lewandowski, Luis Suarez, and Olivier Giroud. I'm just kidding, not Giroud, even though I do appreciate what he brings to the table. However, with that said, I think if his French counterpart Karim Benzema had been with France for the World Cup and they had still won, then I think Benzema would be closer to the top of this shortlist, which I think he should be considered for anyway, but winning that would have helped his street cred immensely. So balls. This isn't easy, because when I look at Sergio Aguero, who is arguably the best striker in Premier League history, who has scored historic goals and won league titles with 3 different managers, which is no small feat, he still couldn't win a big one with Argentina. Yes, I think that has to be factored in, or the Champions League. And Zlatan is the same. He too never won a Champions League trophy, and we could argue Sweden played better without him in the team, because if you remember, they didn't qualify for the 2010 or 2014 World Cup when he was around, and when he wasn't there in 2018, they qualified and got to the quarterfinals. So honestly, I think it's between Robert Lewandowski and Luis Suarez. Now Lewandowski started the decade with Borussia Dortmund, winning the Bundesliga twice before moving over to their biggest and hated rivals Bayern Munich, where he won it 5 more times with them. So if you're doing the math at home, that's a total of 7 in these last 10 years. And that's pretty legit. But surprisingly, he has still not won a Champions League trophy. And even though he carries his country, Poland, on his back to get them to qualify for big tournaments, he and Poland don't do much when they do get there. In fact, he didn't score at all in 3 group games in the 2018 World Cup, where they crashed out, and he didn't register a shot on goal in the group stages of Euro 2016. Whereas with Luis Suarez, the man was named the player of the tournament with Uruguay. when they won the 2011 Copa America, he scored a few goals in his 2 World Cups, and then at the club level, he won 5 league titles overall, one with Ajax. He should have had one with Liverpool, where he was tremendous during his time with the Reds, scoring 82 goals in 133 games in all competitions before finally winning 4 La Liga trophies with Barcelona to finish up this decade. And he's also won a Champions League. But did he score 5 goals in 9 minutes like Lewandowski? No, he did not. Does his national team have better players than Lewandowski's national team? Yes, most likely. But even though I think Lewandowski is a better number 9 at the moment, well, that was before Luis Suarez's backheel goal that chipped the goalkeeper a few weeks ago. Do you remember that? How did he? I still don't know how. I don't know how he did it, which had to be one of the best goals of his career. I just think that over this decade, Suarez is the guy, but it's close. So there you have it. I got Neuer, Dani Alves, Ramos, Piqué, Marcelo, Conte, Modric, Iniesta, Messi, Ronaldo, and Suarez. And holy La Liga! That is a lot of players from the Spanish league, but they won most of the team and individual trophies, so what are you gonna do? Also, just to tie this up with a nice little red bow, because I mentioned this earlier, would this 11 beat Buffon, Zanetti, Cannavaro, Puyol, Roberto Carlos, Makelele, Beckham, Gerrard, Ronaldinho, R9, Ronaldo, and Henry? I don't know, that's why I'm asking you, but what I do know is that it would be a great game, and I would pay top money to watch it all go down. Anyway, that is it. That is all I got. So thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. And if I do not see you beforehand, have a great new year. Big hugs. Later.